That's what you get. You said 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's 3.5 seconds that
I
I need.
Look, all I gotta do is like slide backwards, and I can do whatever I want.
yeah, you get the disappearing luxury.
You
That's
just
okay.
You
turn
can
in.
have my luxury.
You just turn
It's
into a
available.
sweet, sweet coaster.
That's it.
Uh,
That's all I gotta do is just lean to the side. Apparently,
Lean left, lean left, lean to the right.
I hope you noticed, Joe, in my carry photo for the week. It said no peeking.
I did notice that, and I didn't notice what it was. So it's all
Good.
good. Which
Appreciate you.
is, hey, look at that. We've been live for 40 seconds approximately. Sweet.
Nah, sounds made up.
Sounds made up, yeah.
So for those of us that are skipping ahead to the review, skip ahead 15 minutes after the live stream. That was slightly better than last week, but it was still pretty hurting way to say that. So
I'm so confused.
Don't worry.
Oh,
Don't worry about it.
For some reason, our photo was a Deadpool comic for a second. I think YouTube was glitching on me.
I think that was a glitch on your end. Yeah, there's nothing about that on my end.
So
Yeah.
Russian bots. That's cool. That's cool.
Oh, wow. I'll deal with that in a minute.
It is Super Bowl Sunday, so get your butts off the game. Who cares? Who cares?
They're like third quarter or something like that. Maybe even fourth quarter now. It's fine. They'll
The
be
game's
here.
already decided.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's 17 quarters to go. I'm sure it's.
What am I doing here?
That's a good question.
What are we doing here?
We're here to talk about Joe's everyday carry because he's gonna obviously go first tonight.
Apparently both of you got sneaky sneaks. So yeah, mostly a day about the house today. So I've been carrying my little silly harvester slip joint from GEC, or Northfield line. I'm still confused as to what Northfield is to GEC. Oh hey, I have a photo. Why isn't the photo coming up? That's because I haven't selected things properly. Oh, come on now. I'm actually confused.
I don't know, but there's probably something derogatory about the northern fields that I'm probably gonna stop right there because that's as good as it gets.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
I was gonna say we were hunting the northern fields a couple weeks ago.
we weren't. We weren't the northernest of fields, and I don't think a pruning knife would have been applicable in that situation. I mean,
Probably
maybe
not.
for a couple tasks, but I'd break the tip off in between joints.
Oh,
and
dude.
just, yeah.
This is a thin ass tip. Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I wouldn't care because it's not my knife. So, like, the combination of those things is just a good recipe.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So don't ever lend a dentist your shit, basically,
Nope.
is what I'm hearing.
Well, I mean, have you heard
That's not bad.
anything about what goes on in this channel? It's ridiculous. Yeah. So
Compared to a chaparral tip, which is ridiculously
the
thin
bird.
itself.
you've heard the bird?
It's the bird.
What
The bird is
about
the word.
the bird? You weren't even gonna let me set me up for that one. That's thanks, dude. Thanks
Sorry.
for stealing the thunder before the clap.
I'm just gonna avoid that.
Yeah. So pruning knife, you say?
Yeah, yeah.
I like this little knife.
It's silly. Makes me smile. It's not the most convenient knife for sure, given how wide of a profile it is and the fact that there's no clip. But it's comfy and it slices through cardboard just as good as most of my other knives, actually. Yeah.
I bet.
Thin
Good
blades
times.
will slice.
Good
Both
times.
thin and slicey.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go next. I'll let
Okay.
Paul have final thunder. It's fine.
I was gonna ask which order we were going in.
No, it might be a surprise for you as well. I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'm going to go with the exact opposite of what Joe was carrying this weekend.
Yeah. All right.
Just because it's something fun and something new, so I was playing around a little bit.
I hope this is what I think it is.
This weekend, but I was carrying Ontario specs.
Yeah, it is.
So,
yeah.
I heard Ontario might be taking a tumble, and who knows what the quality might be on their products thereafter, or whether you're even going to be able to get their products thereafter. So one of the things I needed was a firefighting breaching tool in my life.
So it
Just
is
in case.
the exact opposite. Doesn't fold. Blade edge profile goes in literally the opposite direction, and it is not thin and slicey. That is choppy as hell.
Oh, choppy's. It will be choppy maybe after I put a proper edge on it, but this thing, like the crowbar, is the by far the most useful thing on this
Yeah.
knife right now at the
Oh
moment.
no, the edge is just not non-existent.
A little atrocious.
Yeah, yeah, it needs to be profile
let's-
to my needs. You see,
Let's get
Indeed.
a close up there. Man,
Can you
What
make
the-
this a meal prepping axe, please?
could you show us on your webcam a close up of the beveling on this thing? Because I'm so confused looking at this.
well, that's
It's like it used to have a corner, and they just sharpened it all away, like the way the grind is set.
well, that grind is actually not an accident, like on that bevel, but that's
Yeah.
for like pulling and chopping through doors and like yanking down and
Yeah.
like
So what does
having.
what does the blade look like on the opposite side? Oh yeah, much of the same. Holy shit.
So yeah, and then for those interested on what the hole in the middle of that is that if you need to turn on a fire hydrant in some sort of emergency situation, or you want to pretend like you're in a 1970s funk movie, and cops won't just arrest your ass for opening fire
I was gonna
hydrants.
say, if you want to get arrested during a drought,
It's
you
okay.
can do it with one easy trick.
It's a water sharing program.
There you go.
Specs. Very cool.
Good times.
I'm
Good
into it.
times.
It's such a fun little tool.
So for
If- If we go into the woods and you bring that,
no,
I'm going to feel like
No.
we're playing a game of like the forest.
the answer is no.
That's a
No?
fun game. I'd be down for playing that with you sometime. It's good shit.
I'm not going to play this game with that axe. That's not what that one's for. That one's not for going into the woods.
Don't worry.
That's
The one in the forest is red. It's okay.
It's safety orange.
Yeah, I was
Red.
going to say I wouldn't mind getting the rescue orange version, but it wasn't available, and I wasn't going to sit around and wait for Ontario not to make more. So yeah, jumped on that. Ben, glad you could join us. What are you carrying? I'm carrying a Spax because I'm silly. That's yeah.
That is the complete thought there.
Yeah,
All right,
that's,
Paul.
facts.
It doesn't belt carry worth a shit for the record. It's
I bet.
I believe you. I actually totally believe you.
Does it have a belt loop?
I think it's mole compatible.
Okay.
Oh no, it's got a strap. It's got the ball.
Oh, it hangs. It goes on the belt that way around. All right.
Oh, it goes on the belt many ways around.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah,
Interesting.
you could actually loop this one out. And actually, it's not bad. There's ways. I'll figure it out.
There you go.
Again,
That's-
not in the woods.
That's terrible. Thank you.
Yeah. I do what I can. Spaxing it up.
Um,
Ontario, go get one if you can. If you get an orange one, I'll trade you. Ben, just saying.
It's a good trade deal.
Yeah.
So Paul, what the hell was I not supposed to look at?
I got a new knife this week.
Is it what I think it is?
I don't know. It might be.
Okay.
It might be. That's
I don't
you
know if
guys
I
are
talked to you about
ridiculous
this
for
one.
the
I think,
record.
I think so. It might be. It's a Chavez.
Yeah, it sure is. It sure is the thing that I thought.
It's not just a Chavez.
No.
It's a cheap Chavez.
Hey man, don't be spilling my tea. I got a good deal on this knife.
Well, congratulations. I know you've wanted one of these forever.
Yep,
So that's good to see.
indeed.
You didn't have to rob anyone in order to get it.
I mean, no, I'm not gonna incriminate myself on stream. Come on, man.
Nearly had
I'm
him.
not. I
Look,
didn't
I'm no
have
Columbo.
those
but
money bags in my eyes at all the whole time I was making transactions.
Only a little bit.
Just a touch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why
this,
borrow it now when you can steal it later, right?
I'm pretty sure I could also use this thing to wrench open a fire hydrant, like even just as a
Yeah.
hammer. It weighs all the weight.
I was gonna say that thing looks ridiculously beefy.
I can't wait
That's-
until the situation where my Spax is hiding in my pack and I'm gonna let him break his Chavez before I'm like, oh, by the way, I have this thing we could have used the whole time. But you said you could do it, so I let you.
I wanted to see it.
So that Chavez build is on bearings, eh?
It sure is, yeah.
Yeah, that's terrifying. The only knife that I have that comes close to that thing is probably the ZT620, the Emerson Tonto. And
I don't know
that
if you-
thing's chonky, but
Like if it drops
y-
past the D10, it just
yeah.
closed.
Yeah.
It's
So
It's
are you starting a new subcategory of knives you're collecting? Just big heckin' chonkers?
I mean, I own ZTs, so
Well, yeah, you got some ZTs, but I'm thinking like you got the Subvert recently, you're getting the Chavez now. It's those are some pretty thick, pretty big knives.
it's disturbing how close they are as far as like overall size and weight.
I'd be curious as to what the weight difference is between the two.
We will find out
It's gotta be
Oh,
pretty
live on
serious.
stream.
Paul's just playing in the nether right now. It's
I
good
am.
times, yeah.
Just reaching into oh no, that's
That's not what they
Grams
meant by the Pokey factor.
the Chavez is 6.55 ounces.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me much.
The Subvert is 6.
Yeah.
What
yeah.
a fat little bastard.
Yeah.
But it's insane how close they are. But this one feels like the core pulled out of a like dying sun. It's super dense. There's not a speck of internal milling.
Quote. I was trying to look up the weight of Buck 110 because that's usually quoted as being
I
a
would-
hefty boy.
I want to say they're 7.
They are
and change.
7.2 ounces, so you're a
Okay,
half
so
ounce
it's-
difference off on the Chavez and almost a full ounce.
There you go.
That's hilarious.
Um,
That's like a full brass handled. Yeah, damn. Anyway.
Apparently, this one's kind of a fancy boy. It's got a weird, what orange peel texture on the handle, with the hand rubbed satin blade. Apparently, it was only sold through one dealer.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
An
I don't know
exclusive,
anything about that.
as
but-
it were.
Yeah,
Yeah,
apparently.
that's what they say when it's a fake. It's
Hey, you know what? If the fake's this good, I still feel like I got a deal.
all right. That's
It's-
because things.
It's disturbing how thin and slicey this blade can be. Both this and the Subvert, actually. Now that
Yeah, that
but this
Subvert
one's
has
got a
an aggressive sharpening angle, but the Chavez, I guess it has a hollow grind, right? Like that
It's-
compound
yeah.
grind is pretty cool.
yeah, it's pretty hollow in the main edge, but it slices paper pretty nicely right now.
Well,
And,
that's a sweet score. Good job,
Yeah, I had some fun playing with lighting.
both of you.
Well,
'Cause-
sometimes.
So
The only editing on that photo is changing the size and making it black and white.
yeah, that
I feel
texture
good about that one.
looks nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty neat. It almost sounds like the start to a bad joke. Slip joint, a Spax,
And a
and
Chavez.
and a Chavez walk into a bar. Yeah.
Is that bar on fire?
Well,
It
not
is
yet.
now.
Not yet.
Canary hasn't started singing yet. So
All right. Gonna sit here and drink until this place on fire. Then I got something to do.
We're doing pretty good about getting
Nope.
to 7:30. Like we just hit it.
yeah,
Good for us.
It helps to go in a couple minutes late, though.
It
So-
does.
That's
Yeah,
the secret strategy, you see.
it's a great strategy. One of the best strategies. Everyone should use it, definitely. But a canary, I says. Canary.
My canary.
Ben, what are you carrying? Just
Yeah.
because,
Yeah.
he's the only guy that's responded.
Tell
Even
us
though
things.
other people are Super Bowling it up. That's some bullshit.
Playing the foosball.
It's
There you go.
fool's ball.
Yeah.
Ball for fools, as we say. I'm not sure if there's anyone out there who says that. Anyway, QSP, Canary. Here's a size comparison. Bam.
That is a size comparison.
And
Bet-
before
Ben's
you
carrying a
ask,
swordfish.
nice.
Yeah.
Those colors are just about as aggressive in person as they are in this photo, at least on my
Oh.
monitor right now.
Yeah, here. That's some terrible
Yeah.
lighting for a purple. That's nowhere
Yeah.
close to what the purple should be.
That looks like Spyderco's blurple.
And there's the orange. That's a slightly more accurate orange on
Yep.
cam than it is, but the purple sucks. I don't know why that purple just looks so muted on my
It
camera.
Does I don't?
It
have
looks
my
like the blue
notes
rich
right here.
light from
It does. The canyon blue.
Dude,
That's weird as hell, man.
brief aside, photographing blue rich light in daylight is difficult. I was trying to send photos to actually the buyer for one of my friction folders that had the blue rich light, and it kept coming out purple. And I sent them to him, and I'm like, I wish it was this purple. It's pretty blue. But yeah, so like this implies, the Canary does come in a large number of different variations, coated and uncoated blades, a bunch of different G10 handles. I think G10 is the only material currently, and 14C Sandvik is the blade steel.
I don't think there's any.
No, like micartas, no titanium versions as of yet, that kind of thing.
No, I believe it is all just G10. I don't think there's even micartas yet. Something's glitching out on their website and they don't want to show me a Canary folder for some reason.
That's less than ideal. I will try.
Here's
and help
hoping
you.
they do micarta. That'd be sweet.
Uh-oh. Well, that's cool. Yeah, there's a neck knife. There's the larger fixed blades, but searching Canary sure doesn't give you an option for folders, does it?
Yeah, all of a sudden they're not on their website.
That's a little strange.
That's super weird. They're just so hot. They're like, no, stop talking about it. Stop. We gotta.
He's already dead.
Interesting. That's super interesting.
I'm just gonna look under discontinued items quickly. Okay, no, the workaholic is the only discontinued model right now.
As it should be.
Okay, what about new? Yeah, that's super strange.
Well, in the also what's new, they're also talking about a bunch of new models that will be released on August 10th, 2023. So
I did see
There you
that.
go.
something might be glitching on.
But didn't the folder come before the large fixed blade? The fact that the big
Yes.
fixed blade is there, but the other one's not, is so weird.
We don't talk
So-
about Bruno, okay?
Apparently.
Stop talking about Bruno.
Stop.
Oh.
Get some help.
I can spell Canary, I promise.
Mm,
That's a little sus, isn't it?
mhm.
No. Okay, we should probably
Sussy
just
pigeons.
don't. We should probably just review the knife rather than marvel as to why it's not on their website. But that sucks because specs would have been nice to read off of what they say things should be.
Well, and that's what I'm digging into right now because I'm sure there is some specs out
Ooh.
there.
The products have been wiped off their website, so you can directly link to them from Google. So there's cached versions of these pages. I think we may. So Dennis, if you look up qspknife.com Canary folder in the Google, you can look up specific versions of this knife
but then they all 404 on you.
They all
Yeah.
do. There's a way to visit a cached version of a website. I thought it was on this menu here.
Well, I can give you some specs here if you would like.
Yeah,
Blade length is 2.84, handle length 3.75, overall of 6.6. Sandvik seal 14C28, 3 mils thick, 5961 on the hardness. Black G10 weight is 2.64 ounces. She light. 2.64 isn't that light. I would think it's lighter than that, but I think it's because it's the nested steel liners.
Yeah.
Probably.
So what's interesting too is the liners are not. The speed holes basically don't speed things up on the lock bar side. They keep it full dimension on the opposite side. They only
It only needs to go fast on one side.
exactly. I think I got a picture of the reverse of the lock bar. You can see that here on the purple one.
On the other side, it needs to go fast on the G10. But the stainless steel is just like, no, I know what I'm doing over here.
It makes the knife spin faster. I don't know.
Get out the way. Get out the way.
I mean,
Perfect.
there's a whole ass lock bar in the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, see? Get out the way.
Yeah.
All right.
I was just gonna say that with knives that are much lighter than 3 ounces, it's or I'd say like 2.5, 3 ounces, somewhere in there. I don't really notice that much of a difference between one knife and the next. Like if I'm to hold two at the same time, I can still tell you which one's heavier. But like it doesn't matter as much up till about
sub 3.5. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, there's some junk. Like,
yeah, and I mean, of course, it depends on the size of the object. Like the bag slip joint I got somewhat recently. That thing's dense because it's full steel liners, full steel bolster, and then the blade, right? Like it's a thick little guy. That thing feels dense, but it doesn't feel particularly heavy. You know what I mean?
Heavy for its size, but not heavy overall.
Yeah.
yes,
like,
and lefty friendly, Ben. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, with steel plates and everything. Like there's stainless steel plates
Yeah.
on this one.
It's almost like they gave a shit. It's cool.
And then there's like some black steel plates on this one.
It'll never happen
And
again.
then there's some things. And like for a very budget friendly price on cuttingedgecutleryco.com's website. Little plug.
Just a little.
Doesn't need to be a big one sometimes.
Whatever gets the job done.
Yeah.
Speaking of getting jobs done,
Speaking of bigger plugs,
not to preclude the rest of my thoughts on the review, but this knife might just be my budget pick of choice for the U. And I know that we're in February here and right at the beginning of the year, but for what amounts to about what did you say, like around 56 Canadian dollar a do, something?
yeah, 55-ish, give or take.
So sorry.
What is it on their website? It doesn't say. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the whole 404 thing. It's cheap, basically. It's really cheap. Ball bearings in the action. It's smooth. It's
Competitor's website has them at 52.50 American, but then down to 42 American. So
I see. Okay.
42 American at 55 CAD works out to pretty close switcheroonies. So
There you go.
That's fair.
I'll switch your Rooney.
Do it.
Stop
I dare you.
Your
Many have tried.
macaroni, the macaroonies.
Many have tried. All have failed to switch my Roonies.
Just switch.
I'm gonna jumble
Yet
up
my
the Roonies,
Roonies still stand. Anyway, pros and cons about this knife. How cons?
This
Anyone?
might be
Cons?
Do they exist?
Cons?
so it's a small knife, but it's unless you see, but that's not even really a con. It's compact.
So here's actually size comparison. Hand size. I've always said like if it's a small hand, it'll be or a small knife, I'll do hand open. If it's a big knife, I'll do hand close. This is right in between, so I did both, and that's what Joe's talking about is compact, but still not necessarily small. If you're XL or double XL, you might not be able to get 4 fingers on here. Speaking of artsy, Paul. There you go.
There you go.
There's a little artsy for you. We didn't
Yeah,
even talk about being artsy at the same time.
It's
Just
just
happened
gray
that
though.
way.
I can't change gray to another color.
But I did everything but the
Yeah.
fancy. Anyway,
I like it.
yeah.
That's
So,
good stuff.
but open as well. Like nestles
Yes.
right on the edge of Pinky Town, right? So
I hate
I-
Pinky Town.
you gotta take me to Pinky Town, you know.
No.
Take me to. Anyway,
I don't want to go back. You can't make me.
you can't go back to Pinky Town. You only get to go once.
I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed back. I've been
I'm
barred
not
from
allowed
entry.
back. They've banned me from that town.
So I have a couple other comparisons just to show the relative scale of this thing.
You hang out with Index Finger Town or nothing. That's
Here's a native and a holdout 3.
I look at
size
that holdout
reference.
3 being like almost good for size comparison. You were talking about that, and I'm like, nah, you're on crack. And then seeing them side by side, I'm like, yeah, that's actually pretty
Damn
close.
near identical.
It's not just the speed holes, although it was mostly the speed holes. The native does look a lot bigger thanks to the positioning in the camera, but if you see these two knives side by side, like they're pretty close in overall length.
They isn't.
They're not really that different. Yeah.
You do get a little finger choil action on the native, but little more handle as well. So
yeah,
you know.
You get more speed out of the Canary.
I will say there is a pro and con here. Pro is because the ergonomics aren't so, I guess, defined as they are on the Spyderco. You are able to hold it in a larger variety of grips without it necessarily becoming uncomfortable. Like the native, if you're holding it in a pinch grip and you're holding it in just the wrong way, yeah, this divider section between the two choils gets pretty irritating. So you just don't hold it like that. It's not a problem. But with the Canary, you could have your hand however you like. And it's actually the reason I put it up with the holdout is because this is one of the most simple handles I own in terms of ergonomic profiles, but it's still extremely comfortable. But I do like that they decided not to push the handle contours too badly.
Well, I mean, there's some.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's some size things going on.
Yeah.
Everyone's making one, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, but are they making them at $50?
Well, 100%.
With this kind of action,
So-
the D10's snappy.
I was going to
Yeah,
say the only
they
other
pop.
competitor that I really had in my collection to show as far as a competitive option was actually the little group here. What is this model? The P662-B, which is the kind of more pointy, worn clippy sort of guy. Not lefty compatible. Deep carry clip, which was not set up for deep carry. But 14C Sandvik wider lock with 210, so it's extremely similar. Not bearings, but a very nice washer system. Previously, I would have said this is probably one of the easier knives to recommend as far as you want 14C, you want something easily recommendable to a lot of people. This would have been my pick. I almost called it the Penguin, so used to say QSP Penguin.
The Penguin 2.0.
Yeah, pretty much. The Canary, though, that snubby, almost Kephart shaped blade tip, though, I could hand this to a wider range of people and not worry about them damaging the tip on this knife, at least not as easily. So it makes it a little bit more recommendable for me, at least.
I just want to interject real quick. Dick Richards just jumped in the chat, said hello, said he's got a busy night and he'll catch up next week. And he's carrying the pair of 3.
I only have one thing to say, and that's go Rough Riders.
I don't even know who's playing.
That's why I say go Rough Riders. Paul, you're blurry as shit right now. I don't know. You're
That's
blending into life.
Oh yeah, that's kind of strange.
Yeah, your
Weird.
camera's not
Anyway.
focusing.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I was gonna say I thought your camera had an autofocus anyway. Try holding a knife up close to the camera.
Something. Anyway.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Now
now
it's
you're just gone.
It's okay. Yeah.
You're actually better now. Yeah. It seems to have corrected itself. Anyway, Canaries, what's your con? Sorry.
Oh, so my con is because it's such a neutral design, it may not grab it may not grab people's attention the same way that other knives would because of their aesthetics.
I'm finding that's actually the case in house when I'm showing people is people are skimming over it because it doesn't have a wow factor to it at all. There's nothing wowy about this knife. There's the Maui wowie of colors, and that's it. If you had 8 of them all sitting on the row together, it would be a taste the rainbow situation, and that might grab attention, right?
Yeah,
But to
Yeah.
have 1 or 2 models, in this case, we have 3 sitting on the shelf. We thought it was a good variation, but even still, people look at it and then look at a whole bunch of other things that might be 10, 25, $30 more than this thing with inferior steel. And it's
Yeah.
not my job to tell you what to buy, but at the same time, I'm like, damn, dude, everyone should buy one of these things. I mean, I'm going to buy
yeah,
my variation when we order my variation. But,
I think a good way to introduce these to customers is show somebody a penguin, and when the guy goes, "Yeah, but do you have anything with like a more centralized point?" Then you point them at this one.
yeah,
yeah,
stainless blade versus
Yeah,
D2 and so on and so forth. They have their appeal.
exactly.
But I think these things are not quite getting the momentum that I think
That
they
they should.
deserve at this point. Yeah,
We need to get them in all the Skittles colors.
I guess you
It
just
would
try
it would
some
help.
Skittles.
They do like lime green in this thing, don't they?
They do
They
an
do.
ugly lime green. It'll
They
match your SE.
dude, they also have a pink that is incredible. Every photo and every video I've seen of the pink G10 they're using, it looks great. And for the guys and girls who are looking for it, there's so many pink knives I look at, and I'm like, that's neon and it's disgusting, or it's not quite neon enough and it's disgusting. I don't know why I have such arbitrary strong opinions about the color pink on knives, but um,
You
yeah,
feel the way you do.
yeah,
see.
pretty
I
much.
see.
I really like the way that they hid the steel type on this knife,
Yeah,
where it's big enough that you can actually read it when you're looking for it, but it's completely hidden when you don't need to see it.
yeah. So I actually forgot to look at my photo of it closed earlier to
QSP is
see.
getting better at that. They're playing the
Yeah.
almost like the Civivi game, but almost beating Civivi
Well,
at
in this one, both in the open and closed positions, you can't see the steel type. Like it's completely. I thought it
yeah
was just in the open, but it's actually
in
hidden
both.
here.
Yeah,
That's a nice
Yeah.
touch.
and
It's
I like it, but what Paul was saying about it being a little bit clearer when you're looking for it, Civivi's, because of such a fine print that they use, it's
Yeah.
not bold enough, right? You can see it, and even then you're like, what is that? Let me get my old man glasses on. And I don't need old man glasses. I've still got good vision, but I still kind of need old
Yeah.
man glasses when I'm looking at those freaking Civivi steels.
Well, it doesn't
I
help too when you're over top of their hand rubbed finishes and just the silver lettering blends in perfectly, and you're like, this is as clear as I'm ever gonna get this. I can't read it.
I've gotten really good at figuring out what the squiggles mean without actually being able to read them.
Yeah, it's blind and blind adjacent people have that coping mechanism I found after talking to a lot of people who wear glasses.
Noted.
They'll recognize the shape of a word or the shape of letters so that they know what the outline of the blob is like. It kind of represents without actually being able to definitively read it, which is not great, but it's a coping mechanism nonetheless. Um, but yes,
So
no,
how you coping, Paul?
Um, it's working.
It's working.
Yeah.
It's somehow life finds a way. It's
Indeed.
speaking
I'm
of
rarely wrong.
legibility. I appreciate that they left the blade blank and that they did the QSP logo on the pivot, but it looks kind of hideous on the black and orange version over here. I'm really not a fan of it's.
I'm not.
I don't know what it is, but it reads cheap to me.
They need to
Um,
redesign their logo. I'm not a fan.
again, because it's been a couple times, I think.
Yeah,
This is not Gen 1 of the reimagining of QSP's logo.
I like the triangle because their name is 3 letters, and they like quality, service, price. It makes sense that it would be a triangle.
yeah.
I'm sure you can stylize a triangle in such a way that it's recognizable as your logo. Make your letters into the shape of a triangle.
Dude, how neat would it have been if they had just taken this logo and then lasered it on the inside of the lock bar so you could see it through one of the speed holes?
Yeah, there you go.
Like, just keep it right out of the way, and you'll be able to see it when it's over. It's kind of neat.
Yeah, and Ben was saying he likes the triangle on his Harpy because the
Yeah.
Harpy does have that
Mhm.
nice, clear, crisp, triangular, whatever.
Yeah.
I now want to design a logo for them and just send it to them, where it's literally just QSP but shaped in the shape of a triangle.
Yeah.
But when
There's
you look at it upside down, it'll be a butt.
Yeah,
So yeah.
I mean,
you
yeah.
win some, you lose some. You know, it's, and
I mean,
sometimes you're
that
just
sounds like
winning
a
all day.
win-win to me.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, how is that not a win-win, Joe? You're on the wrong team here.
Like I said, sometimes
I've
you're
always
winning all day.
suspected.
But now you know. Handle thickness. I took some photos of handle thickness because, good God, this is a thin ass knife. Yeah, it's essentially skinnier than this guy. Like, damn near. I didn't have my calipers with me that day, so I couldn't get a readout of the actual thickness on the handles.
He's
But
like,
good
yes,
lord,
it's it.
yeah,
If I'm looking right here on the charty charts,
that's a carbon fiber native, and it's closer to the holdout than it is the native.
here's a
Obviously.
metric. It is.
That's nuts.
11 centimeters
Thick?
11 millimeters.
or 11 millimeters thick. Sorry.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah, that makes a bit more sense. Okay,
Almost
Um,
10. Almost 10.
This
my
thing feels 11 centimeters thick, but
yeah, it would, wouldn't
yeah, it does. In the best way possible.
it? Actually, the batteries of my actual calipers are dead, so I'm going to use these little brass ones to. So this is 8. This is like 8.25 mils thick on the
Okay.
holdout.
Okay.
So it's got to be pretty close to that.
Yeah, pretty close. The holdout not having anything nested really in it.
Yeah.
Pure G10 probably helps that mill or two
Hmm.
in that particular situation, right? So yeah.
But impressive, very impressive. Yeah.
Also, contour and chamfering on the handle. Like,
yes, I was just gonna say it's on the edge of being too thin, if that makes sense for this knife. Like it's on the edge, but because I think that rounding actually it does help a little bit.
Ate it, yeah.
Yeah. The probably my skinniest knife is I think this Boker Slike, which I still don't have a replacement pocket for. It's on the edge of being like this thing is like I wouldn't want to press very hard into the handle and use it for long periods of time. It just it's not
Gotcha.
super uncomfy, but it feels like it would get a little pinchy, a little bitey.
I do have one shot of just like the purple knife by itself, and you can see all the chamfering all the way around it type of.
Yes.
And that's the one thing I'll say is again for a $55 knife, 42 American, whatever 52 American, depending on you're looking at MSRP type of idea. They chamfer the crap out of this thing. Like every edge has some milling mills.
If this knife came out at that price, like
Yeah.
5 years ago, not even. And I
You
know
could
we've said this.
say
About
it
the
was
Penguin
made by
too,
General Mills. One might say it's yeah.
lots of general milling for sure. Yeah, that's awful. Thank you.
That's a honey nut Cheerio. That's what that is.
I'm gonna go play video games. I'm gone.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
that sounds about right.
Yeah. So good time, good stuff. Also, Liner being like a little proud, but not too proud. Like it's no Gail Bradley, but it's not like
Yeah,
something
it's
stupid either.
You can get to it, but it's not gonna eat you.
speaking of liners being proud, I don't mind it when it's just the lock bar like that. It's just a little bit and things are chamfered. I did get
But
some
when you're getting
photos of
into
the
like
nesting. Oh yeah,
this
that's
one's not bad, but like the cutout, like some of the stuff you can get sometimes, you're like, how do you expect that not to be uncomfortable, right? Like,
yeah.
and then you've got
There's
Gail Bradley's that you're like, how do I unlock this? It's flush. There's
yeah.
There's not enough room.
So
Yeah.
that's this. I will give them credit for this being kind of a nice middle ground between that, right?
Absolutely.
And they do lip the liners pretty well into the G10 body here.
You're giving my liners some lip.
That might
Some lip liners.
But that might actually explain why there's no micarta variation. Because if you look at how thin that G10 gets towards the underside of the lock bar,
That makes a lot of sense.
start to think about Spyderco's issues with their paramilitary series. So yeah. Does anyone else have any cons about this thing? Anything at all?
Um,
Other
Go
than
ahead.
it being kind of unremarkable next to the competition, like we were saying earlier.
the style of it is definitely underwhelming. The other thing I probably will say for my own kind of like con is I have seen some small variation in the detent on
Yeah.
knife to knife and the ones I've played with. None of them have been bad, but QSP is kind of throwing out. There's a little bit of variance game. Maybe the lockups aren't going to be great. I've had pretty good luck with all the ones I've played with. We've played with several colors. I have two right here in front of me, and I don't think there would be an issue in any way. Everything locks up solid, right? Um, but seeing there is some variation on the detent means that probably the lock bar might have some variation on small amounts of tension as well, right? That
Potentially.
kind of makes sense to everybody. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
So,
I would say that that could be down to a lot of different things. Whether it's the ball bearings they're using for the detent having some slight diameter variance, or the lock bar not being tensioned exactly the same. Um, in a production environment, tensioning a lock bar shouldn't be the make or break, though. You think you're working with jigs, right? So you're only ever bending that lock bar till it touches the jig, and then you release it, right? Like you're not, and even if somebody's doing it by hand. Hey, Paul. Let's see.
Get a release by hand. I see. Yeah, indeed.
Well,
wow,
Go on,
especially
Joe.
when you're,
Go
especially
on,
when
Joe. I'm almost there.
you're
You
doing
do-
a jig, right?
you do what you can, including buying thumb studs from Benchmade, because those
Yeah.
are Benchmade thumb studs. But I find that very funny.
No. Benchmade buys it from them. Let's get this.
That's the
probably.
joke. Yes.
Someone's buying thumb studs from someone.
Well, money's exchanging hands, regardless.
Not to get too deep into the weeds about thumb studs.
Well, you know,
Can you patent a thumb stud?
you can design patent, but again, it needs to be novel. So in this case, no.
That's fair.
Yeah.
If there's any other complaint, perfect segue to the pocket clip. It is perfectly functional and it works great, but it suffers from the same thing that this knife suffers from, where it's just kind of a boring design.
It's $55 though, and they give you a steel plate
100%.
on the other side, and they like.
I am reaching for straws here as far as trying to find something that's like
Yeah.
a negative for me to talk about. And
I'm okay with a boring pocket clip. I agree that a deep carry is probably the way to go, the way everything's going. But my preference probably would have been. Sorry, Dennis, go ahead.
Oh, I'm saying probably the biggest thing for me would be like size, hand size more than anything else. I think that's the biggest con is some people with an XL, double XL, something like that might find this knife small. And so, the fact that they made a Canary bushcrafter.
What if they just like take a joint? Then it'll fit.
What's that?
They could just cut off one joint from each finger. Go full triad.
Well,
and see if it fits then.
And I'll say, like, I definitely prefer larger knives for my day to day, but I've carried smaller knives in the past, like 3-finger grips, 3.5 finger, and like it just may do it. It doesn't end any worlds. The knife is still perfectly usable, and I know people that have, somewhat oddly in my mind, a preference for knives that don't take up all 4 fingers in their hand. So I think even as far as this probably isn't going to be the best bet for an XL size glove hand. I wonder, like that's just got to be largely preference at this point. Like there's, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing, right?
Indeed. I lost the plot halfway through that. I'm going to be honest with you.
I'm struggling to think of that as even really a con, so much of just being like, if you don't like small knives, you don't like small knives, you're not going to like this one.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a slow burn, but as people start to recognize the pros of it. Like even talking about the detents and stuff like that. So far, we haven't found anything outside of acceptable spec, I would say.
I get extra snappy too. Well, and I mean, Joe might call some a little bit sloppy, but I've found them all pretty acceptable, if not like an extra pop type of.
Even the ones on the softer side, every time that I've tried to pop them, they open every time. So I'm
Yeah.
not going to complain about that.
None of the ones I've played with so far have been what I would consider bad or even necessarily subpar. Maybe not my preference. Like I of the many that I played with, I would take the harder defense. Don't get me wrong, but
I haven't seen unacceptable
yeah,
yet
yeah,
type of thing,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So,
I think,
yeah, honestly, it's a struggle town to come up with anything other than this knife is boring.
yeah.
It's
So
that's the biggest con probably. Like it's
okay, so potential fixes. It would add more. It would add more cost to the knife, certainly. But the first thing that comes to mind is instead of going for like a dozen different colors of G10, maybe you should have stuck with a. I don't even have a good example on the table here, but like a frame material out of like pick just a black G10 or a purple G10 or red G10 something, and then do different inlay materials, and then do your fancy carbon fiber copper foil in some of them, do some micarta in others, like do something that makes them much more visually and texturally different. I think that would have really helped this thing stand out because the design's not bad. It's just like you say that compared to everything else that's out there with like even the stuff within QSP's catalog. Um, Lots of different milling patterns, lots of different handle materials. Yeah.
I want to see them give this the treatment that they gave to their fixed blade, their neck knife fixed blade, with the Damascus and the carbon fiber
Yes.
with the copper.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like the fat Arctic red, white, and blue
No, that's
I
not
still
me.
don't,
carbon fiber
I
with
still don't like that material.
Nope,
Not even a little.
not my thing.
oh, you like it.
Mm-mm.
You like it.
I can't think of a single knife I think that material looks good on.
It matches your fireworks.
Yeah, that's part of the problem.
It's not a part of the solution. It's yeah. So
No.
yeah, good times. It's nice. It's nice. This is gonna be the knife that you sell to people that don't like knives or don't aren't knife people. I need something solid,
Yeah.
reliable. Here's a plethora of colors. Here's easy to use, easy to open and close, easy to
Yep.
function. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Easy to clean. Holes in it, 1428 Sandvik, rinse it under the sink. This is totally a sink knife.
Yeah.
You're a monster. Well,
Why
it's got
wouldn't-
ceramic bearings too, so
Yeah, why
Yeah.
wouldn't it be? Right?
Yeah.
Anything about this? I don't know what the liners are. I don't know what the hardware is, but
Some kind of hardenable stainless. So like
420J or something.
probably some
Yeah.
sort of 400 series.
so
I
this
mean-
definitely could be.
I have not been nice with my more budgety 14C Sandvik folders, and I mean they can stand up to a ton of abuse. The way this thing's built, you can do whatever you want with it.
Release it into a creek or
Yeah.
that type of thing. Yeah, release it. Yeah, field strips technology styles, right?
Yeah,
If look, everything field strips if you throw it at a rock hard enough.
Well, just take it apart and let all the bearings fall down the
I
river.
think they just
Yeah,
saw Paul. I think I
Release
just saw
in the
Paul
river.
die a little bit.
yeah.
Oh, just
That's what
let
I
it
keep
swim
threatening
away.
to do with all of your fancy knives. Just release them back into the river.
Mm-mm.
Catch and
Ah,
release. You see.
Like they came from the river. So that sounds
Obviously,
like the name.
Joe.
Sounds like the name of a bad '60s horror movie.
Do you not find knives in the river, bro?
There's some sort of Monty Python quote here about strange ladies and bodies of water.
I was gonna say they're all murder weapons for the record. If you find a knife in the river, it's probably hurt somebody.
Especially that Rapella fillet knife that you found in a creek in the middle of nowhere. It's definitely a
Yeah,
murder weapon. It's
Of course,
almost exclusively.
you get it around the ribs. It's
Why
all
you
wibbly
think it's out
wobbly.
in the middle of nowhere? It's
Yeah. Man.
Paul's
Both
boat ready to
wibbly
get-
and
All right.
wobbly.
So really, just that this knife is boring, that's really the only con we have.
Well,
About why
and
people
like you were
shouldn't buy
saying,
this.
I still think it's a half con about the size thing as far as XL size gloves and blah blah blah. might be leading it into a larger one, but they just released a larger bushcraft knife. So if this one's like, oh, is it smaller? Well, they just made a larger fixed blade because they keep on getting bigger. Like this, the original one was this, and then it's like this, and eventually they're gonna Goldilocks it up and find a knockout.
Dude, even if they, well, if if they came out with a version that was like Endura sized, or better yet, SOCP sized.
5-inch Canary. Jesus,
No,
Joe.
4.5. Come on.
Okay, excuse me.
Yeah, slightly better.
It's
Slightly
it's
better.
just a police. It's fine.
Or military sized, you know. I think the knife would be a little bit more remarkable then, to be honest, because yeah, this is. I like it. I like the execution. I like the style. I like but it is in the broader market. Yeah, definitely kind of a boring pick.
It's not. It's well, and I mean, yes, it is a knife guy's knife because all three of us are just like, holy crap for what you're getting. I'm like budget knife of the year, next generation penguin. We've all talked about this thing just being like, bang, I'm gonna order one myself. It's just I know
Yeah.
the right variation that I want to get and whatever type of thing, right? So, um, as a banger knife, I think
Yeah,
every knife guy out there
you know
should
what?
pay attention to this. But it's also going to be one of those easy sells to non-knife people. It's a
Yes.
non-threatening, non-violent, not too big, easy to operate,
Semi
easy to handle.
almost like semi-disposable for the price too. Like if you happen to lose it somewhere, you're not going to cry about it too bad.
Yeah. If I re-release it into the creek, it's okay. It's okay. It's
always be another fish. Yeah.
well, yeah. I'm gonna stab it with my knife, and then it's gonna swim away with my knife still attached to it. But I'm good at tracking. You see, that's what the fish doesn't know. It's
You're gonna track that fish, huh? All right, all right.
I mean, they make
What if
equipment
it-
for that exact thing.
What do fish tracks look like?
They don't last long.
No,
No.
yeah.
allegedly, right? Yeah.
The rivers really just wash them away quickly.
Oh, yeah, that's excellent.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
there's fish like the batfish. They leave tracks. They exist.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah.
That's where you have to think 3 steps ahead of the fish.
Indeed. Be where the fish is going, not where it was.
Exactly. You don't
I
count
played
on
Space
where
Invaders.
the track is. You count on where the track is going to be. Wax
Yeah.
on, wax off type of
Wait.
styles.
Hold on, I think
Right.
we've gone too far.
We've come full circle.
Wait, there's a canary to talk about here. So yeah, go buy one. Yeah, because they might not look by too much, but for a kicker knife that you can throw into a glove box, a tackle box, camp gear, hiking pack, or whatever, that's you don't care if you lose and just bang the crap out of whatever variation floats your boat.
Talking about, you were saying before about selling it to people that aren't knife people.
Yeah,
As a knife person, this is the perfect gift to buy somebody who's not
Yes.
necessarily a knife person.
I was thinking that
But it's like,
earlier.
here, you don't need anything fancy. Enjoy this. It's going to do everything you ever going to need it to do.
and that's what the penguin has been for a long, long time.
Yeah.
For the last several years, that has become just a go-to here. You don't need
Are we
anything
are we
fancy.
changing from a penguin review channel into a canary review channel?
It might damn well be. It might.
That's exciting.
It is an exciting development.
I've gone blurry again.
Yeah.
I
you
mean,
sure have.
yeah, we haven't done long-term review. I mean, at this point, the QSP penguin has definitely been solidified as long-term review,
I think so. It's
as all of us have long-term used. I think
Yeah.
mine has
100%.
probably got the most long-term use out of the three.
maybe I do
Potentially.
have one that isn't broken that's living in the garage that's a dedicated box cutter, and gotta be honest, like I can't remember the last time I sharpened that stupid thing. It just gets dropped and then put right back to work. And
Yeah.
between me and my dad using it whenever I go to visit, yeah, it's seen a lot. I think the Canary, honestly, is a direct response to the criticisms that the Penguin had. Very
I've
box,
left.
yeah, apparently, very boxy handles on the Penguin.
There we go.
Straight blade. Well, straight edge, I should say. And those were the reasons that people, at least when they were talking to me, like, yeah, I like the idea of this knife, but these are the specific things. It was never about comfort in hand. It was never about Didn't think the edge was going to be useful. It was the preference of not having such boxy square handles and
Yeah.
having such a straight Warncliffe or no Shapesfoot blade.
Yeah, whatever.
For
you
me, it
wanna
was
call
always the sheep's foot blade that people were like, but do you have anything? Does this come with like a spear point?
See, yeah.
That's
You're
what I
like,
heard
get out of my
most.
store. No, I didn't say that.
No.
I sold them a parrot instead, but now I can sell them this.
So actually, maybe that's a good thing to talk about briefly before we move on, because it feels like we're nearly done. How do you think this
Ah.
compares? Sorry, yeah.
I was gonna say we got a grade. I got a good
Yeah,
grade in my
that's
head
true.
today.
But before we go too far into that, what do you think about this compared to the parrot? Because the parrot really is the next closest relative in the lineup. I mean, they're both birds. Uh,
Most of them are.
but it's well, but as far as what QSP is making, that's about the closest thing in terms of dollar value, quality of materials, design overall. This is
I think
smaller. It's got chamfering.
I think it's gonna come down to personal preference as far as like handle size and material and
I think that the parrot, I mean, they did a version 2.0 or a version 2 that now has ball bearings even on it versus
Yes.
washers for the parrot. So, I mean, there's still that, but I think the parrot was still just very much a baseline entry model. Bang them out, could put any brand logo, company name, something, sell them something cheap, whatever type of model. Whereas
Right.
this, I think there's just more thought put into this knife. And I mean the evolution of the neck knife and where it went from there and blah 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 and so on and so forth and all the garbage that goes along with it. And I don't know what I'm talking like this, but now I can't stop.
What have you done?
Only time will tell, sir. Only time will tell.
Yeah. I mean, I largely agree, and it is kind of paradoxical too, because we say this is such a objectively like somewhat boring knife, but it has more character than the parrot does. But really, the parrot, just in case, in the off chance that whoever's watching this doesn't know,
Scotty doesn't know.
oh, Scotty doesn't have a fucking clue, my dude. This is the parrot.
We're really
Never
kind
did.
of slamming on Scotty. I was just starting like mild.
No, fuck that guy.
You really just took it to Scotty.
Look, now I'm singing this song in my head.
Yeah.
Yes, you got to complete it at least twice before you leave, so that's unfortunate. I feel
Yeah.
for you. But yeah, if you compare the lines on the parrot here, they're not totally inspired. Let's say it's extremely basic. There's a little bit more thought put into the Canary's profile for sure. It's not just Dennis's sexy light photography here going on, but there is actually a bit of a difference here.
Contouring.
The contouring definitely plays a role, but even the profile contouring, like having that slight swell for your fingers to feel some sort of a difference in elevation relative to each other. The fact that you do have those, and I don't think they're quite 45 degrees, but like those sweeps done on both sides of the handles all the way down, compared again to the Penguin just having slight rounding. There's a time and a place for perfectly flat knives, and that was in the 1990s. Any chance that people can take?
Keep going. Keep going.
Oh yeah,
that is 80s, sir.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, I guess. But
and then we flared to like really round rubber handles for a while, and then
I say that even though I do regularly carry FRN Spyderco knives, but it's come on.
Yeah, boo this man. What's Fisk? They're gonna find you one day when they find you dead with a plastic handled knife in your pocket or something like it. All your friends deny that they know you, and like there's a trickle down effect with that for sure.
Just ruin entire families that way. It's great.
You would. So there.
So grading system. Paul's got a good one, eh?
I got a decent one. I'm happy with it.
Okay. Okay.
So my grade is 8 canaries out of 10. 2 canaries apparently died in a mine shaft. It's fine.
Oh, you took my joke. Shit.
Sucker. It's all mine. Nom nom nom. And yeah, it's 8 canaries because we're singing this knife's fucking praises.
Yeah.
I was going to grade it at least one good case of the black lung.
Mm.
Because this canary's so solid, it would make it. It would make it, and you'd stay down there, and then you'd get the black lung. Because this canary probably wouldn't die on you. It's a pretty solid canary.
Yeah, which is apparently not what you want.
Yeah, Paul's got weak canaries over there, man. Yeah,
It's for the best.
it's what keeps him alive.
Just sucking souls out of canaries.
Oh, sad. Uh,
What's
I
your
don't
grade,
know.
Joe?
well, you stole my fucking. So I was gonna
Well.
say. I guess if I have to, I'll say that this is a. Yeah, it's one solid canary inside a solid multicolored boring as shit cage. You want to have it. It's not nice to look at.
That poor canary's got no enrichment.
No, none. It doesn't even have like a little bell to ring or anything.
I'm
It's
gonna
the saddest
say,
thing I've heard.
if you take this canary with you, there'll be a little diamond in the coal mine.
It's a Shabazz level joke, dude.
I
That's
know,
brutal.
right? That one's up
That's-
there.
That actually hurt me internally.
Hey, that's gonna be our title. Shut up.
A diamond in the coal mine? Oh, fuck. Oh. As if we weren't simping hard enough for this knife already.
I got one question before we go.
Yeah, sure.
Do they make a yellow one? And if they don't, do you think that was a missed opportunity?
Yes, if they. It is a very much missed opportunity.
But it would be yellow and black.
They
Oh
should be
no!
putting Tweety Bird all over
Oh
this thing.
no! It's the only Ultim knife I want. Oh, they do a Canary and Stonewashed Ultim. That's so dumb. Why is it more expensive? Is it just the Ultim? Did they give you a different blade steel?
No, just
Oh.
Altum.
They don't tell you shit. That's great. It's great. Stupid House of Knives not telling me the things I want to know.
Tell me how you really feel.
No. No. Apparently, the only yellow folding Canary was the Ultim variant.
But you can get the black on black one because you're in a coal mine. Come on.
Yeah, but that's
What,
boring
you
as
think
shit.
you're gonna stay shiny and yellow? That's why
wow.
you got Ultim, is because it's not
So,
shiny yellow.
It's 404 forward, but apparently it's 14C Sandvik for the Ultim, and you're paying 65 American for that. It's a little bit more.
Yeah, more money for Ultim.
Why did somebody pee on that canary though?
Because they're mean-spirited
I'm
bastards.
pretty sure it got stung by a stingray.
That's fair.
That's what you
Gotta
do,
save its
right?
life.
Yeah, it's for the best.
Interesting. So the Ultim actually has like a heavy.
This hurts
texture.
me more than it hurts you.
In
right?
what world does a canary and a stingray meet?
Hey, you're asking too many questions here.
That's fair.
What, are you the coroner?
No, you were just a bastard out at sea, torturing poor canaries.
I'm
Like, you
not
gotta do it
saying
out at
another
sea.
word without my attorney present.
Oh, man, you know whatever he did was really heinous because he didn't even claim that he was fine because of international waters. He just climbed
That's
right
where
up.
I was going with the joke.
Yeah.
No.
You can't prove I was there. Whatever.
I didn't scrub that boat down with bleach for nothing, damn it.
Bleaching canaries.
Throw him off the scent. Yeah.
Well, that's why they're not black from coal anymore.
I assumed you were using the canaries to like dip in the bleach and then.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's kind of.
Oh, no, I was chumming the waters, for sure.
Oh, okay.
It's-
We've been talking a lot about chumming the waters tonight.
Don't like it. I don't like the inflection with which you said that.
No, you shouldn't. It's awful, and I can't take it back now.
It's bad, and you should feel bad.
Yeah.
Holy. Well.
So,
that's
yeah,
about
good
it.
times.
Yeah, that's about it for me on that guy.
Wraps it up. Wraps it up. Go get one. Go get one
Yeah.
for $50+ Yeah.
Just pick your favorite color, order it. Like it's a nice knife.
I will say, personal preference after seeing the black blades and the stonewash blades, I thought I was going to like the black and orange. It's a fun Halloween, blah, blah, blah type of color as far as the contrast goes, but I'm pretty sure I like the satin hardware just more.
Mhm.
I do. I do.
Yeah.
On this particular model, I think the stainless
I'm
hardware is the way to go.
a fan of black and orange Halloween color combos, but I have to agree. I have to agree.
I have a desire to buy the lime green one and the purple one and make a Joker knife
Mm,
and then gift another Joker knife away.
how very 2015 of you.
I know. I'm
2016, 2015. I don't know.
Yeah.
I used to go on the Benchmade customizer, and
I
every knife that I would
remember.
design would be a Joker knife. And then the Deadpool movie came out. Then every knife that I designed after that was a Deadpool knife, and I stopped designing knives on the Benchmade designer.
Now you just make them on the bench meal designer. And it's
Yeah,
just
the old
like,
bench meal.
It ends up looking like bok choy every time. It's,
Crazy how that happens.
Delicious.
It's uncanny, really.
So yeah, topic change. Yeah, we're having it. We're done with these canaries. All the canaries of the rainbow.
We're releasing them like Skittles
Yeah.
into the.
Catch and release into the river. Jump in the
throw-
waters.
don't
You're
throw
eating your Skittles wrong.
Don't throw canaries in the water. Just don't do it.
You can't stop me.
They don't like to stay underwater very long. You really got to hold them down.
It's been a long time since PETA was a legitimate
Yeah,
concern.
let's make it a comeback. So,
That's okay.
Shot Show residuals.
Indeed.
We only did one episode for Shot Show this year because it was shocking. It was shocking that we didn't do 3.5 episodes.
We did a pre.
Hey,
We pre'd for a whole episode.
Did you not break that? Jesus
we
Christ.
do that every year. We just happened to record it this year.
Yeah, that's fair.
You're making me sad in my soul, Paul. I'll be honest, there's not really a hell of a lot that stood out to me that I necessarily wanted to talk about from SHOT Show. I
Is
was
there anything
hoping-
that you want from SHOT Show?
that I want? Yeah, there's things that I want, but
Like a Megalodon?
they're all dumb.
Like a Megalodon.
Yeah, a little bit. Megalodon's kind of dumb. Actually, Condor had a lot of stuff that I'm interested in, but once again, their prices are just, I don't know if I like them that much.
Eating lunch outside? Out to lunch.
Yeah. Thank you for
It was,
clarifying.
it was
'cause
a it was a reach.
I would never have gotten that, and
Yeah.
it's not that far of a reach, to be honest. It just was not two dots I was going to connect in that moment. No, that limited run of the Buckmaster 2 that they're doing is like that knife is dumb. It's really stupid, but it's kind of awesome too. And
Shame.
Judging.
For shame, sir.
look, I already have a buck that's all black, tactical in just the worst way, with a weird feature. So
It would be so much cooler if you just got an original.
actually, it would be. There's so
They'd
many
probably cost
different
about the same.
variations. I know we did an episode about that forever ago, but
Yeah.
well, given that the actually no. I don't know what the current price for Buckmaster originals are going for, but they used to be like 2-3 grand for mint,
Okay.
and then the new version is about 8 American, 9 American. But there's only 1,000 of them, so they're gonna sell out like that, and then they're gonna go up like five times the price within a day. I'm calling it now. It's gonna be bullshit. No one's gonna be happy about it.
They only made 1,000 of them.
I think they only made 1,000. The initial run, and I don't know if there's gonna be another run afterwards, but the initial run's all like super limited. Yeah. I want the 710. I want the 710 from Benchmade. Honestly. Boring answer.
Sucker.
Yeah, and that's going to be so much goddamn money for something I already owned. But it's a new Omega Spring, so I'm going to be a sucker and buy it. I'm into it.
Do you have a 710 too?
Well, I did, but then I ended up
Oh.
selling it. D2 version, which I loved that knife. That was like
We both made
probably
the same mistake.
yeah. Well, no, see, for me, I knew I was going to destroy the Omega Springs eventually, so it's like either I can own this knife until I have to run the rigmarole of trying to fix it over and over, or I could just sell it to somebody who's going to enjoy it and not ruin it.
And you chose to sell it to somebody that wasn't me.
Yeah, this was I can't remember who I sold it to even. I think it
It's
went
probably before I even met you.
Morgan or Anthony, I'm gonna go with.
I think it went to Morgan. Yeah, if I had to guess. I think it did actually because I remember talking. Yeah. I think I remember talking to him being like, "Any chance of me buying that back at some point?" And he's like, "Oh, fuck yourself."
It's the right answer in that situation.
It
Yeah.
totally is. For the
I
record,
appreciate the fact that we both have knife selling regrets with Morgan.
yeah, it's funny how he does that to people. No, I'm just I'm kidding. I will say though, for the record, the fact springs so far have been absolutely fantastic. So if the new springs and the new 710s are as good as this or better, yeah, I'll be a happy boy. Yeah, boring answer. Benchmade. I want a 710. What about you guys?
So I actually had a couple different things.
Okay.
We didn't, just for like things that we briefly didn't talk about, we didn't talk about the Buck Sovereign button lock.
I'm sorry, Buck made a button lock?
Buck made a button lock.
They did, yes.
Is it made of chewing gum?
It's not made in the States, if that's what you're asking.
So the answer is yes.
It's not even on their website right now, I don't think. I'm just searching right now. Can I spell sovereign and not fuck it up?
Sovereign.
Yeah, I did get it, but no, there's I just realized I wasn't streaming that. It is not on their website, but looks like it's on Knife Center. It's a sweet looking knife. So 55 MSRP is the highest priced version of this. Now
I take back some of my criticisms. It's a
well,
decent looking knife.
you can give it back. You can give it
Well,
right
it's a
back, sir.
pyrite. It's a pyrite.
It's a pyrite with 7CR17.
Yeah.
But it's for a sub 50 American knife. Now, again, 7CR17, roughly 440A. I've actually had decent experiences with it in slip joints. I'm sure Buck would have a halfway decent heat treat on this thing, or at least whoever's making it for them.
Is 7CR really that much cheaper than 420 high carbon?
American made.
Yeah, that's the
stupid
big thing.
American.
So if you wanted to go with 420 at 420 high carbon, then yeah, it's gonna be.
You gotta ship
like
the wood, the steel.
Well, what's the other what's that flipper tab knife that they make? The Sprint or the Spirit? That's polymer handle. We sell it. 420 high carbon.
The Sprint.
Yeah. So that thing is $80 on our shelf, roughly 60-ish American, I think. But polymer handle. If that thing was aluminum or steel or G10 or whatever the hell this stuff is, yeah, it would be more.
This one appears to be carbon fiber.
They
and by that I mean I assume it's a carbon fiber sticker.
Well, they actually label it as carbon fiber. Usually Knife Center's pretty good about not calling things carbon fiber if they're not.
So a carbon fiber button lock for 36 American.
I mean, those chamfers look a little sus. I don't know.
Oh, their carbon fiber is as stickery can get. That's the thinnest piece of carbon fiber you'll ever see in your lifetime.
Yeah. What's the difference?
3 layers thick.
These two then. So there's a 2.625 inch version, and there's a 3.225 blade version as well. That's such a small difference between the two, but for less money, I'd probably go with the stainless steel handles. A lot of companies have been doing interesting stuff. What about you guys?
Yeah,
probably go that same direction.
I'm with you. They have that nobleman vibe to them.
Right.
They really are using the pyrite button cutout, though, aren't they?
Oh, 100%.
Button cutout? Oh, yeah, but I mean, that's not that different from what Civivi was doing with their cogent or their They had some other models that did stuff like that.
Yeah, but I wouldn't surprise me if these were made in the CJRB factory or something.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I could see that. Um, it's neat. A button lock from Buck. That's not the. No, the 110 auto was still actually a lock. That's right.
Sure
Is it
was.
weird? Is it
Yeah.
weird to say that I hope it's the CJRB factory and not the Artisan factory?
No, that's not weird at all. The Artisan Factory's fucked.
Yeah, that's
Um,
fair.
allegedly, it's just for context, dear viewer. A lot of the Artisan cutlery that we've seen disassembled and that we have disassembled have been kind of gross in the interior.
Filthy.
And certain things like Loctite not applied properly or not applied at all when it should have been.
Or threads cut kind of haphazardly into pivots and
stripped threading from factory, like just all kinds of weird shit like that. That just for the mainline series, you would expect a little bit tighter control.
which is weird that you get it from their budget brand.
Yeah, and then that's the funny thing. CGRB, you don't hear about really any major fuck ups that aren't like already kind of expected, like just small things every now and again. I haven't heard of any like major complaints.
Not
But
in my experience.
that being said, I haven't been looking super hard into either Artisan or CGRB lately.
I can't tell if Dennis is frozen.
No, I'm
or-
still here. I was trying to get a quick shot. I have been listening in the auxiliary, but I've been trying to get a shot to send to
That's fair.
Joe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will keep my email client open so I can see it when it arrives. Yeah, no, the Bucks.
It's actually not a bad little knife.
No, it looks perfectly serviceable. I will say that this actually has a hell of a lot more personality somehow in the
It does.
profile in this than the Canary, and that kind of pisses me off a little bit. And I
bet
don't
you the
know what it
Canary's
is.
nicer overall, but
Well, probably because there's a little bit more going into the handle construction at the very least. But
yeah.
yeah.
But for a $30 buck, that's a pretty damn nice option.
Yeah, and you're welcome, Buck, by the way. You can talk
yeah.
about any sort of ideas that you might have had for 2024, but some of us that were in communication with some higher ups at Buck maybe recommended a button lock might be the right way to go in the heat of the moment and blah blah blah. So yeah, I'll expect a royalty check any day. Yeah, that's not going to happen.
That's assuming they didn't have it in pre-production already.
This thing they did not. This was quick. Let's jump on the bandwagon. Let's take a nobleman handle and a pyrite blade and make our own pyrite.
Make a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, Buck has always been kind of a slow company to move when it comes to trends. I mean, never.
Well, I mean, you could be Kershaw coming out with another cleaver blade.
It's only 7 years too late. It's fine.
Oh, yeah. Talk about a trend that maybe shouldn't have happened at all.
Random question, but when did we hit 612 subs?
No, I mentioned that last week.
I didn't realize
all of
it was.
a sudden we spiked for no reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, don't worry about it.
Maybe it was our pre-shot show. Maybe it was no, we talked about it last week. Never mind.
You know,
and us being gone for 3 weeks, obviously. That's
Yeah, they're like, thank God, if we subscribe, they'll never come back.
it's the one thing we've learned. Yeah.
The less we are, the more.
So
we're like Swiss cheese.
Would you have been willing to pay slightly more for a 420 high carbon version of this knife, given Buck's boss heat treat?
No. Because the one thing I've learned is the fit and finish isn't going to be any better on this one than it is on the American made one.
Touche.
It's fair. It's fair.
Might as well keep it cheap.
Well, and while 420 high carbon is tougher, I would assume,
Considerably
440?
tougher. Apparently, I haven't done any side by side testing myself. But
what
think,
really is the difference in edge retention?
Well,
Did you get that email there, Joe?
no, that's why I'm waffling. Let's just
Oh, okay.
finish it up. I was just gonna say that I think with Laren Thomas has gone on record saying that he was consulted by Buck to see if there were any improvements to be done on their 420 high carbon, and apparently after intensive review, he had come to the conclusion that there is nothing he could do to improve the heat treatment that they are providing 420 high carbon.
They have
Basically,
maximized.
it is about as good as it gets. Paul Boss knew what he was doing, and he did a good job, which is great that Buck was willing to fact check that, bring someone else in to take a look and be like, is there anything we can do to squeeze a little bit more juice out of this? That being said,
there's no squeezing the juice. There's
They're like, no, it's already dead.
Stop it! It's already dead.
That lemon has made all the lemonade it can.
Has
the only
done
thing
been
I'll
squozen.
say is that United Cutlery has put out a lot of large knives in 440A and in 7CR 17. So, I mean, talk about your chipping and impact resistance. They got to be somewhat comparable. But as far as ultimate edge retention, I don't know. I might take Buck's 420 over the 448. But that's a might. And
It's a schmaybe.
Joe, you got
Just
some things
refreshing.
now to yeah, you should have got some things. Yeah.
it went. Yeah.
So this
It
one's
is just
specifically
downloaded now.
this one's specifically for you, by the way. It's
Uh-oh.
yeah.
Is it a megalodon?
No.
That'd be fun. But... All right, pulling up a screenshot.
It is not. Yeah.
Oh, what am I looking at here?
So you'll see it. The title of the email was Spearfisher.
Yeah,
This is a Best Tech Spearfisher.
interesting.
This is all the way in Joe's alley.
Oh yeah! As soon as I
Yeah,
saw it,
yeah.
I was like, I don't think Joe has seen this.
No, I have not. That's
So
interesting.
fancy,
not
whatever
seen
it is. I don't know exact specs on it. I want to say it's like an S90 or a MagnaCut or something fancy.
Oh shit.
All right.
Okay.
They've started to do some things in the Best Tech world with MagnaCuts.
Liquid hot magna. Cut.
Stop.
Yeah. I've tried to look up Best Tech Spearfisher other than the YouTube video that I got this screenshot
Yeah.
from.
Doesn't seem to be listed anywhere yet, so it could be a roto type. But
Oh, very proto. They said they're not website, they're not listed, they're
all
not
right.
anything.
Yeah, that
So-
looks very much up my alley. What kind of? I'm assuming flipper tab. What kind of flipper is it?
I'm sorry, is Best Tech running a Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Very subtle Kaiser Feist, not Kaiser Feist, sorry, like corner flippery, very kind of small,
Okay. Yep.
not
that's
a coochie, but
So-
what's
not like this guy.
no.
Not like the Yapon.
I was trying to get a picture of it closed as well, but I did not. Yeah. So
Look, that knife crawled so others could walk, but you keep that thing away from me.
This thing flips like a dream.
Oh yeah.
The action on this thing is nicer than any other top flipper I've played with, and it infuriates
That's
me.
because
to
it's
no end.
3 inches long. You've got all that leverage.
That's what you call fluid. Okay.
Well,
Work with what you got, I guess. But
you know, motions on oceans and such.
yeah. Okay. But a subtle top flipper doesn't sound like it'd be the worst thing for that design. I wonder, is that blade like completely buried in the handle when it's closed, or is that full or exposed?
Fuller might be a hint exposed, but that's about it, I think.
Okay.
I bet you could flick it.
You might be able to get underneath it and flick it.
So it's a frame block with a carbon fiber. But if it looks at things, yeah, that thing looks
I
pretty sick.
think so.
Oh, that makes me happy. Yeah, you called it. I'm very much into this.
Yeah. So kind of thought we might be missing a couple things on the SHOT Show this year.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's definitely not what is the term here, like untread ground. This isn't necessarily breaking any new ground necessarily, but it is an amalgamation of a bunch of different features that I really like.
Well, and being that we are, a licensed best tech dealer, might be something that might have some appeal to you.
Yeah. Unfortunately, for my wallet, it's probably going to be the case, especially if they're doing something fancy like at least M390 or Magnacut or what
Cooler
have
than a
you.
Keen, too.
See, but I still like
Also,
profile. God damn. God damn. Oh well. I'll just
Um,
save up for a Microtech amphibian. It's basically the same profile anyway.
there you go.
Yeah. Speaking of which, holy shit, got to handle one of those knives
Mm,
recently. Good lord, that's a big knife. Significant.
which one? Sorry.
the
We
amphibian.
the amphibian made its way
Oh,
briefly
yes.
into the shop, and the handle on that thing is significantly larger than the original. The original is like a Delica. Well, it's like an Andela compared to the police-sized, and no joke, police-sized amphibian.
Is it a
Okay.
4.5-inch blade?
It's well, is the police a 4.5? I don't think it's quite that
Four
long.
and a quarter?
Something like that. Yeah, it's big. It's big. Yeah,
Uh,
it's funny. Like the long, skinny blades, but also the big Bowie-looking bastards also have a place in my heart too.
Yeah.
The Best Tech also has a knife called the Sandback. I couldn't get a good screenshot of it, but really deep, fuller, really big round pivot color that they said they might actually do stuff with that pivot color. I don't know if you can buy
Hmm.
pivot color upgrades later on, or if they're going to come out with some fancy Mokutai, Zirkutai, Zirconium, who knows type of fancy variations of it. But I couldn't. It was called the Sandback. No, sorry, the Serif. But I couldn't get a or a spelling on it, so I have it Sariff, but I think that's probably wrong.
Got auto-corrected to serif, like the font. Uh,
Could be
Sharif.
worse.
Phonetically Sharif.
That's probably wrong, but
Yeah, sure.
is it Best Tech?
It's best tech, but no, that doesn't seem to be. Oh, oh, wait. Oh no, this is a QB from 2021. Is it named
Perfect.
after Sheriff? Serif?
Sarif. I don't
Serif,
know.
because there is a
It was like a flower or some crap. I don't know. The guy had a backstory, but I was watching a bunch of crap. So anyway, the easiest thing to say what it came out to is actually um, the Voxnays Dapper, the Blade HQ exclusive.
Mhm.
It's like they made a Blade HQ Dapper with a fuller and a big ass pivot color.
I feel like
I'm
me and
into
you
that.
talked about these ones.
Yeah, I forgot about this guy.
Big ass fuller, big ass pivot color, looked like a Dapper. And the fuller is like runs right out. It wasn't the one that we saw with the fuller, it was a different one.
Okay.
Because you and I definitely talked about another knife with a fuller that had that weird grind on it. It was a CK, Peter Rosante, CKF triple
Mm.
grind with the fuller. That's what we were looking at this week. Anyway, that's a completely unrelated topic. So yeah, that's a thing. I also just threw you another email because the thing that I actually got jazzed up about that I missed on the initial run of SHOT Show knives, because there's so many goddamn SHOT Show knives out there. The ones that we looked over was actually some Leon Ma shit.
Okay.
Oh,
So Leon Ma Designs made in the Riot factory.
alright.
Riot makes a nice knife. Just saying. I mean, I'm pretty sure you already know that, but
Allegedly.
Yeah, I got one or two.
Just trying to. Okay.
They weigh about the same amount too.
So what's different about these guys?
So they've re-released a whole bunch of the original Leon Moss stuff because they were like a limited run and they weren't being made produced as a regular blah blah blah. So they actually tweaked a whole bunch of these designs, tweaked them mildly, changed some things about them, and re-released them all. So you've got the light field duty, which is this one with the G10 and
The opening hole.
a Sandvik steel, maybe on that one.
Okay.
There's a
Okay.
budgety version of it.
I didn't know
They-
we had made budget knives.
They also have Leon Maw.
Hmm.
Might be N690 Cobalt. It might be something else. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
that's fair. That's fair.
But I
Yeah.
think this one is, yeah. They do also make the field duty is what the Leon Maw is, and I don't know if they've got new ones out.
The field duty, the one with the bolster here.
Yeah.
Looks a bit like a Lanny.
No, that is a Lanny. Sorry.
Okay.
The field duty is the same knife that you were just looking at with the G10 and the inset liners and the blah blah blah,
Okay.
but they have fancy versions of. And actually, Leon Maw's own website has versions of the field duty.
Duty.
I don't know if these are the most up to date versions of the field duty. Oh yeah, they got a Lanny version 2.0. So yeah, it looks like Leon Maw's website is the way to go on this one, and you don't have
Good
to
for
look at
them
my
for actually-
screenshots at all.
Actually having them up.
Wow.
Oh yeah, that field duty's kind of neat.
It's kind of hot.
Yeah.
Oh,
So the one that they were showing off was a wire brushed finished bolster on the titanium with carbon fiber and S90.
was that the one I just clicked? Because that were certainly all the materials. Oh, dark matter in the.
So yeah. But then there's a Lanny 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a bit of a fondness for the Lanny.
Understandably.
But these
So
field
what do you-
duties are sweet, man. It's
Now, hold on.
S90.
That's a sweet little knife.
Is it a Lanny 2.0 or is it a Lanny V2?
Ah, you shut your face.
Eh.
None of your goddamn business. That's
The
what
old
it is.
Lanny version
Wow,
2.
that's a more busy looking handle than I would have thought you were interested in.
What? Oh, not maybe that one in particular
Well, that's
But-
the only one that's listed
on their
so-
website, but I showed you a version on the screenshot that's not the same as that.
Are you sure? Is that what that is?
I don't
That's
know.
what I guess that's what that is.
Yeah, that one was like a carbon fiber one with yeah.
Yeah.
So the biggest versions with the Lanny is they were a convex edge. They're now just a full flat on the
Okay.
grind on them. And I believe it's a slightly larger blade. It's a 3.5-inch blade. I think it was 3.25 before. So slightly beefier version of a Lanny. And then didn't used to have, now has a crown spine.
We somehow got into clips and accessories. That's why we're here. I was gonna say $135 for that knife. No, $135 for the clip, sir.
There you go.
Holy shit, that's an expensive clip.
It is Timascus.
So, can I? Nope, that's the only thing that comes up for the Lanny V2 on their website is just the clip.
Well, no. Oh, okay. Yeah. It's a true story. Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
So yeah, other than the screenshot I have. But then I don't know if you recognize the third knife, Joe.
The big guy.
Third knife's been made by several people throughout the years.
It does have a familiar shape, but I'm drawing a blank on the name, man.
That's the Eraser. CRKT made a version of it as well.
The
But there was other
Eraser.
versions. The CRKT Eraser.
Right.
If you look that up, it would actually come up.
I was looking on their website just to see, but
I don't think that's gonna help you with your art.
Not a current model, that's for sure.
oh yeah, this thing.
Kind of looked like what's his face's Overlander full sized. A little bit.
Mm-hmm.
What a
little
strange
hunchy in the
knife.
back. Looks like it's gonna develop some back problems. Gonna
Oh,
need a bacchiotomy.
doctor says he needs a bacchiotomy.
There you go.
My
Um,
racer.
the Ma racer.
My racer.
Ma
Ah,
racer.
my racer. I tip my eraser to you.
Keep
I'm
your
leaving again.
keep your eraser tip to yourself, sir.
Keep your tip away from me.
That's what the courts say I gotta do.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what the fourth picture was that I sent you. It was something.
It's this little guy with an access
Oh
lock.
yeah, so field duty. Yeah, so not only did they come out with a field duty with a wire brush finish and S90 and carbon fiber, they also came out with a field duty with an access lock and magna cut.
Nice.
All right.
And that's not on Leon and Ma's website either. So
Leon Ma has also made a bug out. That's fantastic.
it's called the field duty, sir.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just-
great. I love it.
Just what the industry needed.
And
They're
I
wrong.
didn't
I
I
like.
didn't get a picture of it. Sorry, Paul, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just saying I like Leon Ma's designs. I don't
Oh.
want to take away from him.
Prefer this
But-
to a bug out. 100%.
It totally is.
I could see myself owning another Riot. It's
Yeah.
Would you go for this over the Lanny?
I might go with the wire brush S90 over a Lanny, but I would have to see them and the variations that were available.
see them side by side?
And see what kind of steels and see what kind of materials. And I've always
See some
liked the
options.
Lanny. I got a sweet spot for the Lanny. But stuff and things. Yeah, life happens, and expensive knives get on the back burner sometimes, and then they're not available anymore, and then life goes on.
I get it.
They also have a knife, and it is on Leon Ma's website, but it's called the Cuff, KUF.
Okay.
It's cuffing season.
It is Valentine's.
Oh, jeez.
November through February, bitches. Let's do it. So,
oh, there we go.
they did come up with a new version of this. I don't know what the new version was. They've got a V2 and a V3 on there, so I don't know what's changed, but it's
This
the
is a
kitchen
3.0.
utility folder.
I could see why they would call it that. Yeah, it's okay.
And it's very much
Ooh,
like a field duty, but
the
Spidey
V2.
Shaft.
The V2 appears to be a frame lock with inlays. That's nice. Is the
What's
V3
What's
a liner lock? Maybe. I'm waiting for the website to load. It's being incredibly slow now for some reason.
It's
all of
because
our
I'm
viewers
looking at it
racing over
too,
there.
and they can't handle more than. There's a V4 as well.
Are you loaded? Oh, there you go. Hey,
I like that actually
so
a lot.
inlays, that's kind of cool. So that's the old version. Wait, what the fuck is going on there? It's a little tab there. They don't show you. They don't show you fully closed, but that sure looks like something that becomes something like this.
An SLT tab? No, it looks like an SLT tab is what it looked like to me.
No, because if that were the case, the tab wouldn't be so high up when the knife was on its way closed. The tab would be lower. That's weird. Okay.
Look, it's for waving off your pocket, okay?
Fuck, I guess. Okay, so there's still a frame lock. It's just an onlay with this guy. Okay.
So now we got to find the cuff closed, a picture of the cuff closed, and figure out what the fuck that actually is.
Let's do that. I'm curious.
It's amazing that all of the pictures are half open or fully open, no closed.
And now I'm
photos.
looking at a G10 one that has no flippy tab at all. It's just a Spidey hole opening.
Is this a cuff too? Oh, it totally is. It totally is that little alfalfa sprout, little nubbin
Really?
son of a bitch. Dude,
Oh, I like
is.
it less.
Well, that's the 2, so
Okay,
you
well
can
that's
always
good. The 3.0 is just Spidey hole only. So
You can just like roll over the top.
Dude, that is a
No.
prime. That's a candidate for a flipper delete if there ever was one. And I like that opening.
You're a heathen. You're
What
a
are you
heathen.
talking about? What are you talking
The
about?
no, the over the top thing that Paul's talking about.
I'm just saying you functionally could do it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that would be I would probably go flipper delete myself.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I
I'm
gotta go
gonna-
flipper delete myself.
I'm gonna are you now? I'm gonna
Yeah.
Steve Tirani it with the flipper tab.
There you go.
Tab.
Sometimes you just gotta go flip or delete yourself, you know?
Hmm,
Do you?
I mean, apparently. This is what
whatever
happens
you
when you talk before you think about the things that are coming out of your face.
whatever you say, Echo the Dolphin.
Yeah.
Ek, ek, ek. Ek, 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 ek.
I saw a thing about Jay Cutler becoming a dolphin recently. Jay
Yeah,
Cutler
exactly.
joined.
Exactly, Joe. Exactly. It's
What?
is the
It was
right
it,
answer.
it was specifically about the thing you're talking about, though. So, if you know memes, you'll know. If I see it again, I'll send it to you.
I refuse.
Yeah, please don't. I'll pay you not to send it to me.
Oh, I'm not gonna
Yeah,
send it to
no
you. It's only
shit.
going to Joe. You
Oh.
don't meme.
That's better. That's better though.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Yeah, so that's fun stuff. Leon Ma's got some version 2.0s he's throwing out there just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
And
into it.
Best Tech made a fancy CEO.
Indeed.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just thinking Joe hasn't had a fancy CEO like ever in his life. So let's
Can solve that problem.
Fancy CEO.
you're voking? That's no.
This isn't a
No,
poker.
dude. That's not evoking.
That's a
It's a
wasabi.
It's not. What's a poker? It's a 440C.
It's a
great.
boking.
It's a
Yeah.
It's a pronounced bokeh. Come on now.
Bokeh.
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 Why are you saying it with a French accent? I'm so
It's
confused.
pronounced
Right now.
bokeh.
Yeah, the bokeh.
Fucking Batman villains all of a sudden.
He's from Belgium.
Yeah, like I said.
I prefer not to think about it too hard.
That's a diehard villain, by the way.
Speaking of not thinking about things too hard, I have some interesting data from there was a user on Blade Forums who compiled this information, but an analysis of toughness versus edge retention for TrueWear, MagnaCut, AEBL, 10V, S35, 154. Some interesting charts that I find kind of spicy. Do you want to leave off on that? It can be a quick conversation, but
I'm okay with that.
All right.
so
If it becomes a long thing, we can always come back to it.
sure. So toughness v edge retention. What this user did was took the toughness versus edge retention data and applied it to a curve where each data point was increasing levels of Rockwell hardness. So what you end up with is something like MagnaCut all the way down here. It's 60.5, I believe 61. Yeah, some of these numbers are a little confusing. 65 on the high end for MagnaCut. I think these are full point bumps. But in certain cases, like the MagnaCut, which I found very interesting, you don't really gain a lot of edge retention, and you lose out a ton of proportional toughness for taking your knife from 60.5 Rockwell all the way up to 65. So it's interesting stuff. I wish he had labeled this a little bit better because these numbers are very clumped. But then if you compare it to, say, something like AEBL, from 60 to 64, you lose like a massive chunk of toughness here. For 3V, you really don't gain any edge retention, but you do lose, what would that be, almost 6 or 7 foot-pounds of toughness rating here, just by going from 59 to 60.5. And that's a standard, yeah.
These charts look a lot like somebody else's charts I might know. Is this user the same user?
Well, it's not Laren. It's
Okay.
This is from he goes by Sign Off, but all the data is collected from Laren. So this is all like properly tested, and you can trust the information itself to be accurate. I just found these curves really interesting. And look at poor Nitro V here. You take it from 61.5 to 63.5, and like you gain nothing in terms of edge retention, but you lose like over half of your toughness. That's nuts to me.
Noted.
Anyway,
maybe the knife companies knew what they were doing all along.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Maybe they stumbled into it accidentally.
Well, maybe some of them did. It's just interesting, especially after hearing about all the the controversy of how hard should you make Magna Cut, and are you wasting it if you go below or above a certain value? And I think the stance for most of us here has been like it kind of depends on your application. In this case, it might be like you might actually be better off, at least in the case of purely edgeware edge retention. You may be better off with like a closer to 60 than like a 63. Um,
I'd like to see some of these charts actually dip lower
dip
because I'd
lower.
be almost curious about
Oh, for
edge
lower
retention
Rockwell?
versus yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'd like to see the other end of the spectrum. These are getting up into the pushing the limits of the higher, but like MagnaCut 62 to 64 type of idea, I'd like to see like what is the chart for MagnaCut at 60 and a half?
That is actually 60 and a half. The very top point here is 60 and a half. I think Lawrence
Yeah.
even said that he designed the steel to be optimally, like its optimal range begins
Oh, okay.
at
I'm
60.
look I'm
Magna
not
Cut's the
looking
brown
at
one, not the pink peachy one
crew
behind it.
wear. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, the height on this chart doesn't necessarily relate to the Rockwell hardness. Like this is 61.5, that's 62, this is 60.5.
Sorry,
Yeah.
what is the brown one is MagnaCut?
Yeah, this
What
one
is
right.
the orange
Oh,
one behind it?
that's crew wear.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about. Sorry.
Okay,
I was
yeah,
talking
so
about crew wear.
it'd be
Yeah,
cool
yeah.
to see crew wear even softer. Yeah.
I want to see edge retention on crew wear. Just touch like some
At
of these
60?
steels. Like most companies aren't going to be pushing past these things, but some companies might be pushing below these things to see what they can get away with. And I
Yeah.
think personally, I'm almost more curious on even like you said, M4 at a
Yeah.
60 and a half or whatever type of
I
yeah,
bet
or
you
61.
quickly start to see diminishing returns the other direction too.
I imagine, but I'm still curious about it just to
Yeah.
see,
100%.
like,
Yeah.
especially with this variation of steels, which ones you can kind of get away with
Get
being
away
a little
with.
bit softer and not the end of the world versus ones that are like, no, F that. You got to do this properly.
Yes. Actually, one thing that I did like about the discussion on Blade forums that this came from. The name of the title of the thread is "Visualizing the Trade-off of Higher Hardness." There are three different types of edgeware. There's like abrasive edgeware, deformation, and oh, what was the other third side of thing?
Trapezoidal.
It was like fracturing or something like that. Yeah.
The
Nope.
edge losing the will to live.
This is not the edge you're looking for.
Oh, it never is. So,
It's edging pretty hard.
Eh,
did you have to? So.
Yes. Yes, I did.
all right. All right. Interesting notes. But yeah.
Indeed, yeah.
Points to ponder.
I would love to, like Dennis said, I would love to see more information on this.
I want to see carbon steel. I want to see what carbon steel looks like on these curves. Like, show me some 1095, show me some 5160. Like,
Show me some 01, show me some
Yeah.
A2.
I'd be super curious.
Yeah.
Because if you're not like, if you're losing like maybe 10% edge holding, but you're gaining like 50 to 150% of your toughness for an outdoor blade, that might actually be vastly preferred.
Yeah. An SK5. I'd like to see some of that.
Yeah.
It's,
I wonder what a Trailmaster from Cold Steel in 3Vs run.
I'd be curious to see. Yeah.
you can find Cold Steel specs. Isn't there 3V supposed to be like a 60 to 62 or 60, 61? Their Master Hunter got scrutinied when the Puko did.
Yeah.
I think it was a bang on 62 when they tested it, and it was a bang on 62 or something like
Big
that.
thing to remember is that the geometry of those knives are going to play a huge role in toughness as well.
Yeah,
They
sure.
could, yeah. Like if you look at the chart and see, oh, at 59 Rockwell, you get 40 foot-pounds of pressure before failure, roughly 40. At 60 and a half, you're getting 32, 33 foot-pounds. Like, sure, for the same size piece of steel.
For,
Well, when you
yeah,
have
the
a-
same thickness.
But when you have a fucking Trail Master, it's like, there's not a lot you can't do with that knife.
I guess you could push the edge retention in a knife like that and still have all the toughness because
Exactly. Well, you're expected to hit wood. You're
she's
expected
full
to.
chongus.
Yeah, she sure is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice knife.
It's all right.
Says the
I feel the same
Trailmaster's
way.
biggest fan.
Cool story, bro.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Ben, thanks for joining us tonight. It seems like there was anywhere between 4 and 6, but you're actually the only guy that came in. So
Only person that wanted to talk to us.
appreciate you coming through the chat tonight. We knew Super Bowl Sunday. It's notoriously a dead night for us here in the chat, but we still go to live because we got nothing going on. Speaking of next week, we probably will be going live. Joe and I are out of town, but I think we can still make it work. We might be a little bit late. Yeah, exactly, Ben. Super what? Superman.
The Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I hear the halftime show was done by someone that may or may not have kept the clothes on. I don't know.
Hmm?
It's yeah.
How many-
That's
how
a
many-
I'm gonna say it's all AI generated.
that's
It's
a
a-
safe bet. Yeah, for sure.
It's a staple at this point.
Was it?
yeah.
Wasn't it a Swifty halftime show?
Oh, I don't know. It's,
I could be wrong there.
again, AI.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure that's just Justin Lundquist in a mustache. But it's,
Yeah, I mean, all AI is just Justin Lundquist in a mustache. I'm here for it.
He's very convincing, right? He took lessons from Gary Oldman.
Yeah,
he wears one of those green suits with the tennis balls attached to them.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Like Joe said.
Yeah. I don't know why the mustache is necessary
It just
in that
none of it.
particular
You
situation.
know why the
Dude,
mustache is necessary.
It's just like when you're. It's just like programmers will tell you. It's like, you see that code and it's commented that like you should leave it. I know it's weird. Don't try and fix it. That everything breaks. Don't try and optimize this. It's the only way it works. And you remove it, the whole thing stops working. That's what that mustache is. It's the linchpin to the whole goddamn system.
I
Nothing
mean-
works without it.
Would you like the mustache on or off?
Too bad.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, without it, it really makes his free mustache rides T-shirt not make sense at all, right? Like it's so.
Well, see, when somebody walks up and asks you about the free mustache ride shirt when you don't have a mustache, you very quickly draw one on.
It's as long as you make it wide enough. You can't make the skinny mustache. You gotta like fill it out. Do pencil
Oh,
line. Yeah.
I'm expecting like brown Crayola and just a little curl on both sides, and
Yes, but then you gotta pretend to
Mm.
obviously tweak it afterwards, right? So
it
yeah.
becomes a brown smear on your cheek.
You're chatting. I mean, if you don't score, what's wrong with you at that point?
It's your
Playing
fault.
life on
at that
hard
point.
mode.
we gave you everything you needed to be successful here.
Every opportunity.
Yeah, if you can't put the pieces together, that's not our fault.
That's scathing. Excellent.
All right, gentlemen. It's been fun. It's been fun. QSP Canary. Ben, go buy one. Yeah. If the variation's not on our website, let us know what the variations are, because I'll bring in all the flavors of the rainbow.
I mean, don't tell us that QSP's website doesn't have them, because that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, no, you just tell us, and then we'll tell QSP. And we'll just keep 404 out of this. Like it never happened.
Can I get one that says 404 error on it?
Only in Ultim.
There you go. That makes sense.
Yeah, it does actually make
Yeah.
sense. It's yeah.
Unfortunately.
It's how the knife world just hit the reset button on quality was Ultim. Anyway, I mean they recovered with Lexan a little bit, I guess, but yeah. Exactly.
Plastic knives.
Head shakes
we
all
should-
around.
Oh, this would be a terrible stream idea. Maybe one day we should come up with the worst knife ever, with just a combination of the worst trends that we can remember over the last 10, 20 years.
A cleaver with Ultim? Neat.
That's exactly where I was thinking. I'm like, oh yeah, fuck cleavers, and oh yeah, fuck all. Just keep throwing crap in the pot.
Yeah, what you need though is that Smith & Wesson rescue knife that has the plastic liner lock just with a spring that pushes it over.
Yeah.
And you would think that there would be some sort of steel lock bar insert on at least this plastic lock bar.
Can we put a bolt action glass breaker on the back of it too?
obviously.
Well, yeah,
Thank you.
but the bolt action also has to be connected to the liner. So when you disengage the liner to close the knife, the window punch comes out.
Hmm.
It's like those folding fillet knives where the handle extends just automatically. It's just one or the other type of idea, right? So yeah,
I was thinking, was it Smith and Wesson that made the one that was bolt action? You let go and it would actually
the window
schlonk?
punch. Yeah, and
Yep.
if you weren't careful, the whole spike would just launch out of the thing, and then you
Yeah.
had
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly that. I want it to be broken. Quick, Dick Richards has come back. We should say goodbye and leave.
Dick, thanks for joining us quickly back, but we've wasted all the time we can, sir. We will be back here again next week. Joe and I will be on the road, but we're still going to hold the fort down, so one way or another. So
Indeed.
good times. Good times.
Roadies.
Yeah, having said that, we will see you all here again next week. Thanks for joining us, Ben. Thanks for joining us, Dick Richards, on and off throughout the evening. Anyone else who watched our live stream, glad you could join us. If you watched afterwards, put a comment down in the review. Good times all around. QSP Canary. It's the Canary that wouldn't die. I don't even remember what our quote was for the next title, but anyway.
No.
Diamond in the coal mine.
The
There you
diamond
go.
in the coal mine. That's right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Joe, for holding down the fort on that one. That's good stuff right there.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. We will see you all here again next week. Oh, wait. I gotta thank people. We haven't thanked anyone. I'm just trying
No.
to sign off. Thanks, Cutting Edge, for bringing in a bunch of these things. CuttingEdgeCutleryCo.com to get all of the things and buy all of the things at cheap prices for good quality price. For good quality product, good quality
go.
prices, cheap prices at good quality prices for cheap prices.
Would you like some prices?
Would you like a knife to go with your prices?
I
No
would.
knife. You just pay the prices
insist.
and it's done.
Sir, I insist.
What? How have I been successful for so many years? Jesus Christ. With
when we
those kind
discover
of
that-
sales pitches, let me tell you, it's got
Have
me,
you thought about paying more?
it's got me this far for sure. All right, people thank other people.
Yeah, thanks to the Instagrams, people over there, because we still keep getting people that are following us. I think because we haven't posted anything recently, so we haven't gotten a shadow ban.
Yeah, that
We're still
seems to
getting
be
Oh.
handed out quite a bit.
Conspiracy theory. Oh shit. Oh shit.
It's all coming up roses now. See,
Oh,
I've been
We're the
planning
only
this
one
for the
that
last
people
3 years
see.
about posting shit.
playing the fucking long game.
Yeah,
Damn.
I
That's some
win.
spy
Who's
versus
laughing now,
spy
Pokey
bullshit.
Factor?
Holy.
That's too funny. All right. Thank you to all the subscribers on YouTube recently too. Dozens of different guys padding their numbers a little bit. Good times.
We appreciate that you're still here.
Also, Patreon, we got things shipped out to you sooner rather than later. There was some shortages, and we didn't get the product that we wanted to get it to you. So we're waiting for that product to come in so we can get you the things that we wanted to. Christmas 2023. Shut your
Yeah,
face. It's still
it's
Christmas
happening.
2023. It's technicalities.
Look, just because you haven't received your gift yet doesn't mean that I got nothing.
No, it doesn't mean. It doesn't mean anything,
It doesn't
actually.
mean nothing.
It's,
It's coming. I still haven't sent messages to anybody.
It's
The fact
okay.
that you haven't received your gift means nothing.
Yeah.
Get over it. That's
If we wait long enough, you're getting coal. It's fine.
it's cool.
It's
We can talk to Blaine.
Shipping costs on that suck, by the way.
Yeah.
So, all right, gentlemen. I think that's everyone now. I can't actually sign off like a real person,
I think
not like one of these fake people out there, like to sign off fake like. Yeah, having said that, all reels all the time. 7:15 next weekend, give or take a couple minutes. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here. I am who I am. I'm Dennis Vipers.
I am Darren Joe.
exile.ca.
We'll see you next week if everything lines up. Bye bye for now.
Goodbye.
And I thought if it was reels, maybe it could be threads, but then I thought about loose threads, and then I was like,
Ben's actually made a good point about it being a long December.